Stanchabilisco here. It is Friday the 13th of March, 2020. And I sit here in the living room of my nerd castle to let you know that I just received my census form, my 2020 census form in the mail. It was just a card, I think it was a couple of pages in multiple languages, but it gave me specific instructions as to how to log on to a government website and enter the data. It was addressed to my proper street address, but it just said resident, and then my street address. And it gave me a phone number to call if I needed help navigating the website. I figured, well, I'll call the phone number because I prefer to speak to a real person. But I was informed that the hold time would probably be so long that I might want to try calling back later. Now, this was yesterday. That would make it the 12th of March, middle of the afternoon. If that's the worst time to call, I knew right then I was going to be sitting there all day long on hold. And then when I got an answer, it would probably be in an accent so thick that I wouldn't be able to decipher the voice anyway. I mean, I'm not bashing foreign immigrants for that. I don't expect them to speak Midwestern English any more than they ought to expect me to speak Moscow Russian, or, well, probably wouldn't be Russian. It'd probably be an Indian or something like that. But I don't have anything against foreign immigrants. In fact, that's what America is made of. We're all foreign immigrants. Our country is less than 300 years old, and all of us came and originated from somewhere else. The only true natives are Native Americans, but now I digress, as crotchety old men are liable to do. But I received that, so I figured, okay, I'll log into the website and see what happens. And I did. It was a very clear and straightforward website. The alphanumeric codes that they wanted me to enter were rather complex, and I had to be careful to make sure that I got everything right. But it was in type large enough for me to read easily. Bless their souls. And the procedure did only take about 5 or 6 or 7 minutes, and I got back a PDF email, and it contained the information and a confirmation number, which was incredibly long and cryptic. So I saved all of that. Now, worrying about getting hacked would be kind of frivolous at this point, because there's nothing on that computer that's hackable. I mean, there's nothing that anybody would gain on that computer, financially or otherwise. But there's no information on there that anybody could use for anything. And the information required by the census is stuff that people can look up in the phone book, or they can look up on QRZ.com. I'll bet they could look it up on. It's easily stuff. So I had to suspend my suspension of disbelief, and just go ahead and assume that this was legitimate. I printed out the PDF and the letter that accompanied it in multiple languages, probably 12 different languages that the letter had been written in for all kinds of immigrants. And so that was that. Stapled the two together, filed them away. I've got the PDF stored away on computers that never see the internet, so that I'm not going to end up with getting. But even if the stuff was hacked, it was not stuff that would be useful for anybody. Steal my identity? Oh, it's already public information, this stuff. So I did it, but it brought to light the fact that we're getting more and more and more reliant on internet and computer devices, and older people, and as we get more feeble a brain, have a little trouble with some of that. And once we become entirely dependent on computers and become a completely paperless society, well, there'll certainly be no paper to shred, but some 10-year-old in his parents' basement in some country in Eastern Europe or something, I won't name it, the one that always comes to mind, but some kid could bring down the whole world system. I don't know sometimes if that'd really be so bad. If we ended up with no internet, we might have to feast off measly venison running around in our backyard, or grizzly bear meat or mouse meat, but probably be more nutritious than some of the stuff we already eat anyway. Oh, I ramble on. The old codger rambleth on. But I still feel a little uneasy when I realize how dependent we actually are on these technologies, which could go down so easily. It's a much greater threat than any virus or anything else. Makes one wonder, are the end times at hand? Just saying, I will say this, the end times are now at hand. And prophecy says that we will not know the time, the day or the hour when that will happen. So I have thereby just debunked that fear by saying that it's right now. There's something weird about that logic, but I can't quite. Maybe my computer can figure it out. I'll ask my iPad. Stan Gibilisco signing off. Until next time, so long.